equals market share. And we went through what mind share was, and I essentially defined mind share and said mind share is a top of mind, intuitive, instinctive reaction to a product or service. The idea of when somebody thinks about real estate, why are they thinking about you? Not just thinking about your company or your brand, but actually thinking about you. How are they connecting you to their home? The same way we connect Nike to running shoes and Coke to pop and McDonald's to fast food. Why are we connecting you to somebody's house? How are they connecting you to their house? So the whole idea behind that, again, is to build that mind share. And that's what we're going to introduce to you through this KiTS system of how to use a system to help you do that outside. All this stuff about, oh, they know I'm there. Well, yeah, a lot of people know a lot of people are there, but why are they connecting you to the business side of things? And then why you instead of somebody else? So I got a theory here that says this: audience, marketing, hustle. You got to know who your audience is. Is it group number one or group number two? A quick review of that. Group number one is the people that we know. Group number one is the people who know us, like us, and trust us. Group number two is the strangers, the people we don't know, the people that don't know us. So if they don't know us and we don't know them, I beg the question of why are we going after them for business? Now, some people would think right off the hop and go, well, I want to get business from anybody I possibly can, and I'm all for it there. However, they cost a lot of money to go after. And if you haven't got the right strategy in place to nurture the leads you get, whether they're from online, whether they're from door knocking, farming, phone calls, whatever you get your leads from, how are you supposed to convert those leads? So knowing your audience and knowing that 79% of your business comes from the people who know you, like you, trust you, that's the audience we want to go after regularly. Once we've got those people on lockdown and we're spending money on those people and we're making a lot of money from those people, then we should be looking to go to that next level and say, okay, now I'm going to talk to strangers because I got enough money to afford to do it. So again, audience is group number one. Then there comes the marketing. What marketing tools are we using? What are we currently using? What have we used? What have we tried? What didn't work? Why didn't it work? And I challenge everybody to always go through and say, who am I targeting? If we've agreed that our audience is group number one, then why are we targeting group number two with all of our marketing? For example, are we farming? That's to group number two. Are we doing online advertising? That's to group number two. Are we doing a bus bench or a bus ad or a bus shelter or whatever? Group number two. Just listed and sold cards, group number two. Wrong audience. So we should look at our marketing and analyze who are we talking to and why and what are we using. Then there's the third element, which is the hustle. And the reality is no matter what we do, how we do it, if we don't hustle, we're only going to make so much. So if we are going to farm, but we're not going to hustle, we're not going to door knock, do we really believe our farm is going to come to life? If we are going to online advertise and we get leads, but we don't actually call people, go see people, we're not hustling, how do we expect to convert them? If we have a contact list, group number one, and we're doing the right things to market, and we got the right audience, but we're not picking up the phone because we're going, oh, they know I'm there, we're not hustling. So we're not making as much money as we possibly can. And so this is all about habits. This is all about defining that audience, defining the marketing strategy, defining how hard you're going to work, and then laying out a budget. So when we looked last time we were together and we looked at those two groups, and this is something I encourage everybody to do, and I did back then and I continue to today, but we look at our two groups and again we take all the things, all the marketing we're doing for the people that we know and we put it on the left side. Then we attach a dollar figure to it. Then we do all the stuff, the other marketing we're doing, and if it's to strangers, we put it on the right side and we attach a dollar figure to it. And what this is doing right here, this is your marketing plan. This is going to tell you, where are you more heavily weighted? Which group are you marketing to? And I'm going to challenge and say that you're probably more heavily weighted on group number two. Which, if we go back to what we just said, if 79% of our business comes from group number one, we should be talking to group number one. You're also going to attach a dollar figure to those things you're doing monthly and say, am I over or under budget? So again, there's a lot more depth we can go into together there. But the key here is that there's a ton of different ways for you to spend your money out there. There's a ton of different ways for you to market out there. And there's a lot of things that seem bright and shiny. And, oh, but that guy's doing it or that girl's doing it. I'm going to do it too. Well, where's the logic? Where's the rhyme and the reason? We really thought this through, or are we just doing it to try something? And if we're just trying, what type of success do we believe we're going to have from that? Trying is not consistent. Consistency, however, is your magic ingredient to any success in anything we do. Like we joked about in the room that day, losing weight, quitting smoking, having a happy home, making money in your business. We have to be consistent. And by doing that, we set ourselves up for tomorrow. And that's why you want to work a contact list. And the contact list is not just first names and last names, but the contact list is first names, last names, mailing addresses, email addresses, social media, phone numbers, birth dates, interests. The more you know about a human being, the more you can tap into the hearts and minds, connect yourself with their home, and this way when it's time to buy, sell, or refer, you're the first person that comes to mind. Plus, down the road, if you're keeping your book of business organized, and we're going to go through that in a moment when we open up the system, but if you're keeping your book of business organized, and you're taking the notes, and you're tracking people, and you're creating predictable days with income-producing activities in your calendar, well then down the road when you do get old and tired, and you decide maybe it's time for an exit strategy in real estate, you actually have history. You have something that's saleable. But if we don't keep in touch with that contact list, we don't take the notes, we don't track, we don't do the history, yeah, you could say you did it, but what proof do you have? I want to take you into the system now. I want to show you around, show you how to build Mindshare and how KiTS helps with that process. So we're going to log into Loop CRM. I'm going to show you guys around. I'm going to show you the tools. And of course, open the floor for questions, whether that be after the fact of emails, phone calls, or even right now on the call today. So, here's Loop. We get to, essentially go to kitspack.com. There's a login page there from our home page, and it takes us to this. So we get there, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fill in my username and my password. I'm going to log into Loop. Welcome. So today, as an FYI, is our data pull. At 2 p.m. every Thursday, we at KiTS go into the system and we grab your contact list. We also grab you, your brand, your look, your feel. We want to get everything we possibly can about you so that we can then create a lot of this really awesome marketing that we do. And I'm going to go through and show you what those marketing tools are. When we look at KiTS, it starts with the CRM. It starts with actually setting up an account, having username and password, getting access to a system, and the three pillars of any CRM. And CRM, by the way, contact, relationship, manager. Not big black hole. Not somewhere to say, yeah, I've got one, but I don't know what the heck I'm doing with it. CRM is a contact relationship manager. It has to do with a contact list, and it has to do with a calendar. And essentially, you can get a lot of those tools from anything else you use. But do those tools have the marketing attached to them? That's where KiTS comes in, and that's why this is your ultimate answer for your business. We are going to help take that contact list and set them up on a series of different marketing tools so that when you're not hustling with that person, but you're hustling with somebody else, there's still marketing that can go out to these people and let them know that the doors are open and the lights are on. So for example, we're going to set people up on a 10-time-a-year direct mail campaign. We're going to set people up on an e-news campaign so they get an email newsletter. We're going to provide you with social media content. You can even send out calendars to people, and we'll show you how cool those ones are. We've got drip campaigns to help you really connect with a potential client and bring them in closer. So as you look at these different contacts, different people are set up on different types of advertising for you. The system will run fairly automated to an extent. And this is again where the hustle comes in. So for example, if I take you through this system and show you how I use the system and how I suggest to use the system, the first thing I do when I get into the office is I look at my calendar. And in fact, I'm probably doing this the night before. I'm probably doing this before I'm in the office because I like to be ahead of schedule rather than behind. I don't like to, show up at 10:05 for a 10 o'clock meeting. Or at 10:05 say, oh my God, I forgot. That is not professional, and that doesn't earn us commissions, right? So the idea here is to look at my calendar and go, what's on the plate for today? What do I have to do? Well, I got this 1 p.m. meeting with Jonathan Carroll. Cool. I know that that's a meeting because it's orange, and I've highlighted orange just for me to visually see what's going on. But I got this guy, Rick Spelvin. He's in my calendar. I know him, but I don't know why he's in my calendar today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that item. I'm then going to click on the information button to pull up his contact info. And as I'm dialing his number, I'm going to go right to the activities tab, and I'm going to start to read all the history I've got with this guy. And as I read that history, it's going to put me on note, and I'm going to say, oh, I know why I'm calling him. And as I call him, I'm going to act like I haven't missed a beat. Now, I suggest after I'm done with the call, I'm going to go in there and say, great call, talked about A, B, C, whatever. I'm going to sign off with my name because, you know what, I got team members, and I'm going to say it was a phone call, and I'm going to hit save. And then what I'm also going to do, in fact, is instead of leaving him where he is, we've already spoken, I can either give it a title, I can choose a time, or I might just say all day, because the reality is, October, you know what? We're going to call this guy back like beginning of or middle of January type thing. Why? I don't know. I'll figure it out when I get there. And I'll tell you today, it's probably going to be a call that says, hey, Happy New Year. Hope the holidays were amazing. There's no sales pitch there. This is what we call relationship building. Well, as I do that with Rick, and then I go back to my calendar, because I'm done with Rick, I've moved him ahead of my calendar, check. I'm going to go and see who's next. And I'm going to call the next person on my contact list or on my calendar list. And I'm going to go through that process. And what that's helping me do is stay present with people. So right off the hop, Loop is allowing me to stay organized. It's allowing me to track notes, and it's allowing me to schedule people ahead so I can continue to hustle and stay present. Do the human being thing that actually connects with people rather than just sending marketing. Then I'm going to have my marketing going out. So a direct mail newsletter. And this time between October and January, Rick is going to see a direct mailer. And KiTS does the absolute best direct mail in the industry. Now, some people roll their eyes at direct mail and say, oh, that's old school. Well, let's review this very quickly. There's 7 ways to communicate with a human being. You've got in person, you've got a text message, and you got a phone call. Nobody can do that for you. You have direct mail, email, social media, and you've got online these days. That you can get people to help you with. Of all of those, if you call me, if you text me, if you social media me, if you online me, if you email me, 5 of those 7 ways are all done on my phone, which means I could be anywhere, not at my home. So it's beautiful that you tell me in real estate and you update me about real estate, but the reality is if you're not actually connecting with my home, then you're just some realtor sending me some message to my phone, and I'm not getting that subliminal mind share around you being my realtor. So connect with the house. How? Send a piece of mail. Send something that lands in their mailbox so they're actually physically at their home when they open the mailbox. They're there. You're creating the connection point. Go further. Send some grass seeds. Send some yard bags. Give them a list of the top 5 landscapers in the neighborhood. The more you take care of their home, the more they think about you. And so direct mail helps with that. And why do we have the best direct mail in the industry? 4 reasons. Number 1, it's completely customized to you. So all the colors, the look, the logos, the brand, the feel, it's all yours. Number 2, it's completely personalized. KiTS is the only company that can offer this to you in your newsletter. Not only do we take a first name and a last name, but we're going to take a salutation. So my name is David Greenspan. Do you know me as Mr. Greenspan? Do you know me as David? Do you know me as the KiTS guy or yo buddy? Use it as the relationship to tap into me a little bit closer. Put in my mailing address. You want to know where I live, right? But then go further, and now when I say we're the only company that says to you we got 27 different language options per contact. We can ask you, are they a potential client, a past client, a friend or family, a circle of influence? Are they owners? Are they renters? What kind of home do they live in? What kind of holidays do they celebrate? The more we know about a contact, the more personalized your direct mail newsletter is going to become to each one of those contacts. So yes, if you have 100 contacts on a mailing list, we are going to create 100 unique newsletters for 100 unique people. Relevance, top of mind, mind share, value. The more value you give them, the more they come back. The third element of the direct mail is the real stamp. We put a real stamp on the envelope. Why? Because of open rates. Because you and I, 9 out of 10 of us, will open a piece of mail if there's a real stamp on it. Plus, it gets your return postage back to you, so in case I moved and you didn't know about it, you'll get your return mail back. And the fourth element is the changing shapes and sizes. And as you can see here, our newsletters look different from month to month. The consistency of your brand is there. The consistency of the personalization is there. The delivery is top notch with the first class stamp. However, it is a true direct mail campaign. So the newsletter is going to change from month to month so people get intrigued and engaged and want to come back to it. We also offer up an email newsletter where you can go and you can literally select a whole group of contacts that you want to mail to, click create new email, look at some of the articles that are there, and maybe you say, you know what, there's too much content and I'm not really talking to a lot of condo people, so I'm going to uncheck that box and the article is going to disappear. I'm even going to uncheck the box of this article, and you know what, I've got something to say. So I'm going to write my own content and, you know, whatever I'm writing here, and I'm going to write my own thing, maybe some stats or an FYI about something in the community. I'm going to look at the content, I'm happy with it. I've got some properties in here, and I hit save and preview. And what it does is it brings in my banner, and it brings in the salutation, it brings in the custom note, it brings in all the content and my properties. Of course, it's completely castle compliant. I can send myself a test, I can edit if I got spelling mistakes, or I can preview the list and hit send. And as I do that, it's going to mass email everybody that's on that list. And then I can later on go to tools and say, show me my email campaigns. Show me my bounce backs and my open rates. So it's got complete analytics to let you track it. So now we've talked about two channels. We've got our email and we got our direct mail under control for our contact list. Remember, there's only 7 ways to communicate with a human being, and 3 of those are on you. We also have social media here. Looney edges up as Sylvain Leduc, Deputy BOC Governor, veers away from rate talk. And there's an article there. Great content. Let's share it. So we're going to click on share. It's going to open it up, and I'm going to say I'm going to put that on my page. So on my KiTS page, and I'm going to hit post to Facebook. And if you don't follow us on Facebook yet, go and do that now. If you do follow us on Facebook, you'll see that that is live as we speak. So we've now talked about direct mail, email, and social media. I mentioned online. We've got an awesome online advertising integration, blanked out on me at the moment. However, very cool, very easy to use. It allows you to go and market to your sphere. It allows you to market a listing. It allows you to market to a geographic neighborhood. You click the link, it takes you right through to everything. GeoFarm flyers. You want to talk to group number 2? Let's talk about a strategy. Call me. We're going to talk about mapping it out. We're going to talk about what kind of hustle you're going to put into it. And we're going to talk about a budget to make sure this is real. We're going to create a strategy around farming that's not just sending out a bunch of flyers. Because I'm going to tell you today, as much as we've got a kick-ass flyer, and we've got hundreds of thousands of flyers that we send out every single month, if you don't have the right process, the right system for it, I'm going to be the first guy to tell you it's not for you. So let's strategize. Call me and we'll talk about that. Email me and we'll talk about that. And there's 2 ways to order that. You could do a single issue where you literally go in there today, place an order, however many pieces you want. Hit calculate, it's going to give you a price. You're going to tell us where you want to pick it up and hit order now. Or we are going to strategize and we're going to get on a 12-time-a-year subscription. We're going to make the area exclusive to you. We're going to brand it for you. We're going to allow you to put in custom stats and properties. And we're going to mail the whole thing for you. You're not going to have to think about it. I'm just going to ask you, I want you to get out there and door knock. I want you to meet people. And then when you meet those people, I want you to take them and put them back in your contact list as contacts. They're now group number 1. Then I want you to schedule them in your calendar so that you're ready to call them again and not just have a flyer go to their house, but you're building a relationship. So again, you've got the GeoFarm, you got the email, the direct mail, the social. We've got these amazing, amazing calendars which are available for order right now. Each one of those calendars is totally personalized to your clients. It's actually their name in every single picture. So if you look at these images on the screen, you'll see Kenny, client name here, in the soup, on the frosty machine, Hard Rock Cafe in New York, on the beach. That's your client's name, every single page. And then your name is at the bottom of every single page. Talk about wow factor. How about more calls than you get on your birthday? This is the best tool you could send out to your contact list, and the biggest problem you'll have is people asking for you to do it again next year. We've just launched websites. We're very excited about that, and what I show you on the back end right here, right now, this is how easy it is to update things. And if I take you through those websites real quickly, we've got all sorts of cool stuff going on here with your banner, and you could put awards. You could change the images in the slide bar very, very quickly through the back end that I just showed you. You got IDX listings from your office. You could put up a video of you or of a house that you're doing, a virtual tour. We've got lead capture in there where people put in their information and funnels right back to your database. They can search properties. They have other properties in there of different neighborhoods that you also have out there, so people can see more than just your office. You could put in blog articles. There's calculators. There's mortgage calculators. There's comparing rates. You could even have an About You section with more lead capture and a whole bio about yourself. Connect to your social media. The beauty, again, is that it all funnels back right to your contact list under what we call quick contacts, because some of these people might put in some just bogus info and we can't mail to them. Well, here comes the hustle. The audience is strangers. The marketing is online. The leads come in. What are we doing now? We're going to go in. We're going to call this person and we're going to update their information. We're going to say hello. We're going to convert them to a contact. We're going to put them on our regular direct mail and email list. And now we start to build the mind share. We're going to build our book of business. We've got thank you cards, drip campaigns, all sorts of awesome marketing tools that are here for you. How does cost work? Cost is very much based on how many contacts you have in the system, as well as how many people you're actually mailing to. So for example, if you had 100 people on a contact list and all 100 people were getting mail, you'd be about $175 a month. If you had 300 people on a contact list and everybody getting mail, you might be closer to $475 a month. If you had 25 people on a contact list and all of them were getting mail, you might be closer to like $60 a month. You might have 500 people in the system and still only select 100 for direct mail. You're still going to get all the tools I'm showing you, and yet only pay for those people who are getting direct mail. So you're still going to be down at about $175 a month. But this becomes your full-on CRM, where you manage your day, where you manage your life, where you manage your book of business and all the history with everybody you know. We've got an awesome tool called GeoSearch. You can actually pull up a listing, and I'm just going to use my address for a moment, as this is a demo account, and I've got contacts that are demo contacts in the vicinity of where my office is. I'm going to say, show me everybody that lives within 3 kilometers of me that's in my contact list. And if I want to, I can filter people, just my freehold people, or just my past clients. But for today, I'm just going to show everybody. So again, I am at my office. I have an hour to kill, and I decide, you know what? I want to go pop by or I want to call people. Let me go and do this warm calling rather than cold calling. So I hit search, and the system searches through and actually finds my contacts that live around this area, and it maps them on a map for me. And then when I click list, it actually gives me a list of these people. Then I give it a title and I save it. And when I go to my save search and I go to my demo search and I see I've got 11 people on there, I now can email the people that I've got email for as one big email, and or I could actually go in and start calling people. And I might say, oh, hey, how's little Betty and little Steven? And I might add some notes and I might schedule ahead. Now, why are we calling? Well, because we're supposed to hustle. That's why we're calling. Well, Dave, what am I supposed to say? Wish them a happy birthday. Talk about how wicked the Leafs are. Tell them about a property that's around the corner from them that's up for sale and maybe they didn't know about it. Tell them about a property that just sold. Just call and say hi. Then add the note. Then schedule ahead. 3-4 months. You've just added value. You've just brought the human being element into the picture again. And then you're going to disappear for 3 months, but your marketing, your direct mail, your email, your social media is going to keep you present in my world. And now every time you call me, you're not trying to sell me anything. You're just trying to be my friend. But the marketing that's happening in the background, that's going to tell me about real estate. So you can make 10, 20, 30 calls in 10, 20, 30 minutes using this GeoSearch feature. You can do pop-bys using this thing. This is all about the warm call, not about the cold call. As we dig into a contact, and just to go a little deeper, and I know I showed you that a few moments ago, but again, first names, last names, contact information, mailing addresses. Are they active buyers or sellers? What kind of marketing are they on? How do you know them? Birthdays, anniversaries, you can have that trigger you and me in your calendar so you remember to call people. How to email people and make sure you're compliant with the castle legislation. Have they sent you referrals so you can send them a thank you card? What properties do they own? Add in the properties. Buying details, and I'm going to come back to that in detail in a moment. And then activities again. Taking notes, tracking history. Very, very important. Going over to the calendar is a quick overview there as well. Again, I showed you the calendar. We've got different views of our calendar. We could share our calendar. We could create new views. We can create a task list if we want to that shows up on the right-hand side. Awesome stuff. We can sync our Google Calendar. We've got our month, our week, our day, our agenda views. And the calendar as well as the task list will show up on your home page in a consolidated view, which again I'll come back to in just a second. Very quickly, we've got a profile all about you. We want to know about you. We want to know about your business, your social media links. We want to know about your preferences, your username, your password, all that stuff. We've got your profile is there. And then as we come back to this wicked home page, you could do a contact quick lookup. You could search your calendar quickly. You could see the news and what KiTS is up to for you. Needs, haves, wants list for agents across the country. Our Twitter feed. A library down at the bottom right here, standard forms and FYIs and roadmaps about the system. That consolidated view of your agenda and your task list like I just mentioned. Our slide bar, which updates daily with FYIs and things about the system. Our social wall here, which again updates daily, where you can find how-to videos. You can find mindshare videos. You'll find promotions of stuff that we do. So a great place to even take content and share it out on your own social media. And then we've got what we call our Venetian blinds. And this is where if we do have an active seller, they're going to be listed in here. And as we click on the little eyeball, it's going to show us a light box of that seller. Or we could click on the pencil and it's going to take us directly to their contact profile, to their property details. And this particular contact of mine, Kevin White, has a property called 25 Cotton Way. And I've entered all the information about the property. I've entered my role in the property. And if I want to, I can even create an action plan. And that action plan allows me to sit down and do an assumptive close with this potential seller before they actually list the property with me. And I can work through with them how we're going to bring their property to life. When we're going to take pictures and stage it and paint it and put it on MLS and put the lockbox. And we're going to start put dates to it. And remember something, when you're going in for that listing presentation, it's not about how great you are. It's about what you're going to do for me. So at the end of it, of course, you can ask this thing of like, would you like to sign? And that's a big question. And people got to think about it. It's a big answer. Instead, ask a bunch of little questions along the way. Get a bunch of little yeses. Does it work for you to bring the painter in on this day? Yeah. Does it work for you for me to put the sign on your lawn this day? Yeah. As you're doing that and they're doing the little yeses at the end of it, okay, great. Are we ready to go? Oh yeah. And they just sign. So again, this is a really neat tool to be able to use to help you close that deal or get that listing. So in a very quick rundown with a bunch of detail, we've now gone through the Loop CRM attached with KiTS cross-channel marketing. We've got a CRM to help us manage our contact list, help us manage our days, create predictable days with income-producing activities, know what you're doing and when. Know that we were doing this webinar today at 10 a.m. Know to be there at 9:55, not miss it and say, oh, I missed it. We're talking about making our business better. We're talking about making more money. Here's a way to make more money easier by focusing on the right audience with the right marketing and the right amount of hustle. That's how you build mindshare. At this time, I'd open the floor for you guys for any questions, and for those of you that might be watching this after the fact, please feel free to call, email, get in touch with me. My contact information is readily available in most places. That being said, here's a mental note for you. So if you want to email me, please do. If you want to Facebook me, I really encourage you to do that. A lot of great stuff there. In terms of value add, we're going to help you with a social media strategy as well, but that's going to be a lot more about getting in your head about how to use social and how to use it properly and how not to blow your budget on social media, but making sure, again, we're budgeting to talk to the right audience and we're using the right channels to send the right messages. Last note on that, if I was going to invite you for coffee, would I send you a direct mail? No. If I wanted to tell you about the stats of the real estate market, would I send you a text message? No. Think about the channels you use. Think about the channels you don't use. Think about why each of those channels should be used and how they should be used. Now use them. Take advantage of them and build that mind share.